Tensions rise between Washington and Islamabad after Pakistan shuts key supply lines for Americans into Afghanistan. That after United States helicopter gunship killed 3 Pakistani soldiers on the border. Welcome to Agenda with George Friedman. George, just as it seemed that relations between America and Pakistan were improving, we have a friendly fire tragedy.
Well, first, I don't know what it means to be improving relations, declining relations. It's very simple. The United States has increased the tempo of war in Afghanistan. They have extended the war to Pakistan, which is, of course, where the Taliban have sanctuary. The Pakistanis clearly don't want this violation of their sovereignty. They understand that the United States is fighting the Taliban. They don't care. And the United States is very vulnerable to the Pakistanis. The Pakistani position is we opened our port in Karachi to you. We've allowed you to transport your goods through the Khyber Pass, passing through our entire country. You don't get that access and get to attack us whenever you want to. We understand it is a problem. We will take care of it. And if we don't take care of it, you still don't get to attack us. So what the Pakistanis have done, like it or not, is bought out the big guns. They're showing the Americans their level of dependency the United States has on Pakistan. And now it's the Americans' turn.
And this is occurring just at a moment when we seem to be moving at what you and I discussed a few months ago as Plan B, the Pakistanization of the Afghan war.
Well, we're well into Plan B. Plan A, which was that we were going to simply defeat the Taliban, is not taken seriously by anyone. But clearly General Petraeus has launched some offensives to at least score some serious points of the Taliban, to raise in their mind the question of whether or not they need to negotiate. The problem, of course, is that you can't affect this without going across the border into Pakistan. And if Pakistan is going to respond by cutting off your supplies, then you really have a problem. We are certainly now in a position where, for the first time, we really are facing a strategic challenge from Pakistan. Now, the United States has some options. The Russians have provided some air routes and some rail routes into Afghanistan. There is the possibility of passing supplies into Afghanistan through Azerbaijan, in the Caspian, across Turkmenistan, and so on. Supplies can be gotten there. But certainly the main supply route, the Pakistanis may well open it at some point. But as we speak, these routes are closed. And that is really a stunning surprise, I think, to the Americans who didn't expect it to happen.
George, don't the Americans really need the Pakistanis on side in order to keep some regional balance with the Indians?
Certainly the United States needs Pakistan to maintain a balance of power with India. But right now we really have to understand suddenly the United States is no longer in the long term. The closure of the Karachi to Khyber Pass route represents a blow at the heart of the American warfighting process. The United States either finds an alternative or depends entirely, or has to make some sort of capitulation to the Pakistanis. If they make the capitulation the Pakistanis want, that means the Taliban gets its sanctuary. The United States is faced with nothing but hard choices here. And the Pakistanis have really, at this point, said to the Americans, fairly not, we're fed up. We are just tired of the way you've put us in this position, but expect us to support you. You're going to have to choose. Any choice the United States makes weakens the American war effort in Afghanistan. And this is where we really come into Plan B, which gets more and more murky. Plan B was supposed to be put the Taliban against the corner, then get the Pakistanis to cooperate with the United States in creating some sort of post-American solution. Taliban is not only not in the corner, the Pakistanis aren't playing. So we, in the United States, at this point, winds up in the worst of all possible worlds. They're going to have to either make some concessions to the Pakistanis or find other supply routes.
What's your best judgment as to what the Americans will do now?
It's really not clear, because to give the Pakistanis what they want, a guarantee that there will be no more drone strikes against targets without Pakistani approval in Pakistan, turns over sanctuary to the Taliban. To refuse to give that cuts off the line of supply. Pakistan has taken this to a new level. And one of the things it's trying to tell the United States is, you have acted as if you were the ones who were going to determine what's going to be going on here. We've got a counter. And it's always been on the table. We never expect the Pakistanis to use it. Even if they open it up again, the United States will never again be as secure as they were before in this line of supply.
Some people think that the government in Islamabad isn't really strong enough to take what is, after all, a very hard-edged approach.
The point would be that no government in Pakistan will be in a position to go down this route, because there are large numbers in Pakistan who don't want to see Pakistan supporting the American anti-Taliban effort. So it's not like we'll get another government in and they'll take a different position. This government has taken the position that any Pakistani government is forced to take. The United States has assumed that it can live with that position, get the supply lines, and carry out the drone strikes. This government is now ratcheted to another position. No, you can't. So it really is a question of how the United States negotiates this and what they're going to get and what the Pakistanis can afford to give. And I just don't see the Pakistanis being able to afford these very public drone strikes, which essentially says that Pakistan is a battlefield, not a sovereign republic. Given that they've already given Taliban sanctuary there, one would say this is the Pakistanis' fault. But it really doesn't matter whose fault it is. This is the geopolitical reality. Pakistan has made his move, and the United States doesn't have a great counter.
George, thank you very much. George Friedman there, ending Agenda for this week. Thanks for joining me. I'm Colin Chapman at Stratfor. Bye for now.